Today on Monkey Life. A tense time for the team when 5-year-old Jin moves house.
Jin's obviously very nervous. They're aware that that's somebody else's territory.
Growing up fast, Paddy's son Bart loses his milk teeth.
Well, he looks a little funny at the moment. He's got quite a big gap in his teeth.
And young woolly Isla has stage fright when she's introduced to baby Bueno. Monkey World in Dorset, nestled deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescues and rehabilitates abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
We just would like to make a nice life for the monkey.
The park provides a home for more than 240 monkeys and apes from 19 different species. The aim is to give them as happy and natural a life as possible. It's a big day for 5-year-old Jin. The team have decided it's time for him to move away from his family group and join the orangutan nursery instead. The main reason for this is because the leader of the group, Gordon, has become a bit unpredictable around Jin. So it'll be safer for the youngster to move away. But Jin is very close to his mum Xiao Kuai, so to ease the transition, it's been decided that she'll move over with him until he settles in, along with her adopted daughter baby Awan. Fortunately, there's no need to tranquilize them for the move, as there's a tunnel between the two enclosures, which will be opened up especially to allow them to cross over.
Because we've got this tunnel, rather than just saying, right, you've lost your mum now, you're going to go and live somewhere else, you can move over with her. And that doesn't mean that Xiao Kuai's got to spend the rest of her life in the nursery, but Jin can, have his mum with him when he moves home. And obviously, Awan comes along as part of the package, so she'll just be there as well.
Xiao Kuai, as usual closely flanked by Jin, senses something is different this morning. And when she sees the slide is open, her curiosity gets the better of her.
What's going on there? Hang on about, let's have a look at it.
Well done, all the way.
She boldly makes her way across. But Jin is holding back.
You forgot your son.
Xiao Kuai is a fiercely protective mother and waits for Jin to follow her. But the normally boisterous young orang decides he's had enough.
Maybe not.
Realizing her youngest son is rather nervous, Xiao Kuai goes back to reassure him.
Jin's obviously very nervous, which is fine. And, they're aware that that's somebody else's territory, so they're keeping out of it. Well, he is. He's, and Mum's hanging back because of him. It's just time. Give them time. They've got all day. And so have we. We've got nothing else to do.
The other orangs at the nursery, including Oshin, Linga, Dinda, Arme and Sylvester, have been moved inside to clear the way for the newcomers. Finally, the trio make it over, and Jin seems to approve of his new playground. Xiao Kuai leads the way indoors, with Jin clinging to her.
Oh, well done! The whole tribe. Right.
Inside, there's a surprise in store. Jin's elder brother Kai moved over to the nursery almost a year ago and is waiting for them. The two siblings hit it off immediately. Xiao Kuai is no doubt pleased to see her elder son, but has her hands full with Awan, so lets them get on with it.
Little Jin's having the whale of a time in there. I mean, it's a fantastic playground for a person of Jin's size and age, and it's just like they're never apart.
So Kai's broken the ice for Jin and is showing him the ropes. But troublesome twosome Linga and Dinda may not be quite so welcoming when they get introduced later. another youngster isn't being quite so cooperative. Chimp Bart is now 6 years old and has lost his white tuft, meaning in theory he's no longer a baby. He's also started losing his milk teeth, but he still plays on the fact that he's the youngest to get what he wants. Today, he's having some clicker training.
Bart, come on, mate.
This is where the primates are taught to offer various parts of their body to the staff in return for treats.
Hand. Wait. Good boy. Good girl.
His sister Eddie and mum Susie, who he's very close to, are never far from his side.
Open. Wait.
Ruth is using the opportunity to check on Bart's milk teeth.
So we've had a couple of them falling out. He looks a little funny at the moment. He's got quite a big gap in his teeth. We can see one or two of the adult teeth coming through on the bottom, but he's lost the two front top teeth, so he does look a little funny.
Chimps' teeth are very similar to humans. They lose their baby teeth at around the age of 5 or 6 and grow 32 adult teeth as they mature. Outside, the rest of the group are enjoying some treats that primate care staff have prepared for them. Lots of Hessian sacks filled with goodies to keep them occupied for a few hours. Beth, who's one of the dominant females in the group, stakes her claim first. Closely followed by Zoe, who gets as far away from the others as she can so she can enjoy her stash in peace. But here comes trouble. Bart seems to have missed out on a sack, so decides to try to share Clin's. But he's picked on the wrong chimp. Clin has an obsessive-compulsive nature and is not likely to hand over her bag without a fight. So the young chimp decides to hassle Chatter instead. Being the boss's son and a youngster, he's higher in the rankings than Chatter. But she's not handing it over easily. So he turns his attention to Hebe. The playful chimp really is getting on everyone's nerves. But when it comes to his dad, he has more sense than to push his luck. However, Paddy does have something Bart wants, a football. So when his back is turned, he nips in and swipes it. Paddy is a big softie and rarely disciplines his son. But as Bart gets older, he's going to have to get him to toe the line, or there could be trouble ahead. The park's youngest resident, baby woolly monkey Bueno Jr, is coming on in leaps and bounds.
There's no good chucking that at me.
He's being hand-reared because his mum rejected him when he was born. But recently, he's been spending a lot of time at Lavar's house to get him used to being around other woolies and around the primate care staff.
Hi, lunchtime. Bueno's moved on quite a bit now. He obviously still goes home with somebody during the evening, but then every day he'll be down in the top woolly house at sort of 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock, really. Yummy.
The staff have started to experiment with the youngster's diet.
We obviously give Bueno a lot of different types of fruit and veg just so he gets used to the variety, but he always has his favourites. He always goes for the grapes and the blueberries first. He basically prefers the fruit, so things like kiwi and apple sticks he absolutely loves as well. And then you'll find like the cucumber and the lettuce he likes, but it'll always be left till last. And if there's something he's not going to eat, it's going to be the veg. But that's the same as all the other woolies as well. They always go for the fruit first because it's the sweetest and it tastes the nicest.
With Bueno Jr spending more time in the woolly house, he's also managed to ditch his nappies.
He now goes commando, which is excellent for him. He's just got much freer movement. Obviously, it just means that we have to clean up behind him, which is a bit of pain for us, but it's much better for him. It's much more natural. And, you know, when he first took the nappy off, he was kind of thinking, what's happening here? But now he's used to it, and that's really important for him because that's what he's going to do when he goes in with the group. So, and he loves it. He loves not having his nappy on. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, he has to go back on again.
The next stage in Bueno Jr.'s development is for him to go in with the other woolies. But he'll have to be introduced to them one by one. The team have decided that young female Isla should meet him first, as she's shown a lot of interest in him through the mesh. Isla has a younger brother called Manny. She's watched her mum Paquita bring him up, so the team are hoping Isla may even try to look after Junior.
It's hard to get you in there now. It's okay.
Okay. Good girl.
Look, the door's open.
Isla.
Oh,
The team try to tempt Isla into Junior's playroom with grapes,
come on then.
but she's suddenly come over shy.
Oh. Yeah, she's coming into the room.
She gives it another go, but isn't quite brave enough. Bueno Jr. seems oblivious to what's going on.
She's come through.
Isla tentatively comes in again, but she can't quite find the courage to say hello. This is the first time she's been separated from her mum and the rest of the group, so it may just all be too much for her. The team decide to quit while they're ahead and call it a day. Things haven't quite gone to plan, but there's always tomorrow. Coming up, Jin uses his charms to win over Linga.
Jin is totally in love with Linga, and it's the real thing.
And Fidget finally gets one over on the girls. At the Orang Nursery, Oshin, Sylvester, Jolie and Ame have got the outdoor enclosure to themselves. And the Orang team have given them a special treat of strawberries to keep them occupied. 5-year-old Sylvester is making the most of the opportunity. He loves hanging around and is a daredevil on the climbing frame. His adopted mum, Oshin, is happy to watch. She's lost a lot of weight since arriving at the park, but doesn't like to exert herself too much. However, they're only too aware that inside, a new orang has taken up residence. 5-year-old Jin has moved across from Gordon's group, along with his mum Xiao Kuai and adopted baby sister Awan, and seems to be having no problems settling in. He's already met up with his brother Kai and is about to be introduced to best friends Linga and Dinda. The Orang team have decided the mischievous duo will be easier for Jin to deal with at this stage than the older Orangs.
The reason we're going for the little ones first is because that's more likely to be a success. Younger people are less controversial.
Introductions are unpredictable, so the Orang team are always prepared for trouble.
Are they locked right into the enclosure, both doors, so we can use all the tunnels?
We can use all the tunnels.
At least to start with, OK.
Once Linga and Dinda are safely in the playroom, Xiao Kuai, Jin, Awan and Kai are allowed in.
Yeah.
Xiao Kuai is surprisingly chilled about seeing Linga and Dinda there. She seems more interested in the food that's lying around. As does Kai. Confident Linga makes a beeline for Jin. And to everyone's surprise, they seem to hit it off straight away. It's not long before Jin is following Linga around like a shadow.
So far, it's gone really, really well. Jin is totally in love with Linga, and it's the real thing. He's a lot smoother worker than what his big brother is. I think Jin's a bit of a smoothie. And all Xiao Kuai wants to do is fill her face. Just a little eating machine, aren't you, Xiao Kuai?
Linga has been a bit too full-on with newcomers in the past, and Jeremy is very aware that if she plays too rough with Jin, Xiao Kuai, being very protective of her son, may intervene, and then there could be trouble.
There's a good chance if it gets overly rough, but she can tell the difference between excitement of play and somebody getting scared. I mean, she will soon pick that up. And if somebody's getting scared, then they will make scared noises and Xiao Kuai will be in there like a shot.
Dinda, who hasn't shown much interest in Jin so far, decides to break the ice and join in the fun. She's usually inseparable from Linga, so no doubt wants to make sure Jin doesn't muscle in too much on her best friend. Jeremy thinks the presence of baby Awan has made this introduction a lot smoother than it might have been.
Awan is still very dependent on Xiao Kuai, so all the time Xiao Kuai will be prioritising Awan, and that will then mean that people will get away with more, whereas before she might have had more of an opinion.
So, as well as Kai, Jin has made 2 new allies at the nursery, and he may well need them when he comes up against Armei, Jolie, O'Sheen and Sylvester over the next few days. At the ripe old age of 26, Fidget is the oldest squirrel monkey at the park. He's the only male in his group, but sadly doesn't command any respect from feisty females Samantha and Topsy who live with him. In Squirrel Monkey society, girls are dominant over boys, and Fidget has had to learn to deal with that. But he's very popular with the primate care staff, and they do try to encourage him to get stuck in. Today, they're putting hula hoops in the Squirrel Monkey enclosure to give them a bit of extra stimulation and help improve their balance.
They might not pay too much attention to these, so to try and make them come over and explore them a little bit more, we're actually going to put a bit of jam on them, which they do really like, and hopefully then they'll go and explore and have a bit of a swing around on them as well. Jam is a particular favourite of Fidget. He does really like his jam, so he tends to hang back a little bit and let the girls get involved in the enrichment. So hopefully by putting jam, which is one of his favourites, it's going to make him come and get involved as well. 2 girls are kind of dominant over Fidget. He does tend to hang back, so he'll probably be the last one to get involved. There's also a hoop each for them, so that hopefully he can get his own one.
Topsy notices the hoops first, but unusually for her is rather wary and hangs back. Fidget is certainly interested.
Fidget, what are you doing?
But as expected, stays on the sidelines. Leaving the way clear for Samantha. But she's more interested in foraging for insects. Topsy is making headway, but is still unsure.
Oh, good boy, Fidge. Come have a look.
So Fidget takes his chance and heads for the furthest hoop away from Topsy. He finds balancing tricky because half his tail is missing. He used to be kept as a pet in the UK and picked at his tail when he was anxious. The jam just doesn't seem to be cutting it, so Emily has a cunning plan.
So I've decided to add some mealworms onto the hula hoops. They weren't showing too much interest in the jam, but insects are normally a winner with these guys, so this might entice them out a little bit more.
It certainly seems to do the trick for Fidget, who suddenly becomes quite bold around Topsy.
He generally keeps himself to himself a lot. He lets the girls take the lead, and they're a bit more dominant over him, so quite often he'll be sitting back. So for him to be coming over here and getting involved and really stuck in is really, really nice to see. It's nice that he can have a chance to get in there first and really get involved in it. Fidget seems to just really be enjoying the stuff that's actually on the hula hoop, so the jam and the insects, he's absolutely loving. The fact that they're just on a hula hoop is kind of just a coincidence, really.
Fidget can't believe his luck.
Topsy!
For once, the 2 girls have given up, leaving him free rein to feast as much as he likes. At the Orang nursery, Jin, along with his mum Xiao Kuai and adopted sister baby Awan, are preparing to spend their first night in their new home. Jin is full of beans and doesn't seem tired at all. He's loving having new young friends to play with. Ready, guys? Linga, Dinda and Kai all know the drill. Once they've been fed, it's time to settle down and go to sleep.
Good night, guys.
Baby Awan seems unfazed by her new surroundings, but Jin is completely out of his routine and having too much fun to bed down. The orangs love making nests of wood wool to sleep in, and Jin's elder brother Kai is quick to bag his favourite spot. It's been a long day. But Jin is still in high spirits. The young tearaway wouldn't usually get away with this sort of behaviour, but Xiao Kuai has got her hands full. Jin seems to be having a rather disruptive influence on the nursery. Linga's waiting for her best friend Dinda to cuddle up to her. But Dinda has decided she wants to carry on playing too, and makes a beeline for baby Awan. Until Jin comes over for another wrestle. Finally, the bosom buddies are reunited. And with no one else to mess around with, Jin decides he may as well give in and nestles down for sweet dreams with his mum and baby sister. Next time on Monkey Life, the team head to Germany to pick up a lonely stumpy called Flo.
It'll be interesting to see what she's like, how feisty she is.
And could there be the patter of tiny feet at her Nanya's enclosure?
Cherry's always had a little bit of a belly, but it's growing bigger than what we would expect.